All right. Y'all heard the magic. You heard the magic words. Recording in progress. All right. Y'all, I have my bro. He wears so many hats and stuff. When I was doing
Oh, wow.
the announcement yesterday about you being on, I was like, wait a minute, I forgot he used to be a chef. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, I would have
Oh,
made him
yeah.
cook something when he had me kind of 360.
Oh, no, 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 that ain't how it work. I'll cook when you come to 360, you come bring me some food. I ain't cooking and hosting.
Yeah, and I was like, that ain't right. All right.
Nah, but I do get down.
Yeah. Well, hey, you got look, I totally forgot about that. I just totally forgot about it. Y'all, we have
Oh,
Mr.
dear.
Jeffrey Harris, aka Henny Holyfield. How you doing, fam?
I'm blessed, extremely blessed.
Yes, 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 most definitely. All right, so let's go ahead and get this party started. Oh, let me do this in case
Extremely blessed.
in case anything comes on. Um, so let me ask you a few questions. This is how
Talk to me.
this is your first time on the show, so I'd like to know, a little bit about, Jeffrey.
Come on. I'm an open book. I'm an open book.
All
Talk to
right.
me. I'll talk back.
So how was Jeffrey in elementary?
Wow. Let's go. You going back there, huh? Jeez.
I told
Jeffrey in early stages of elementary, man, I used to get picked on. Um, I didn't have a whole lot of friends. I had a couple core friends that I hung out with. I wasn't in with the in crowd. Uh, I was I was excited about school. So I was in like like the second, third grade combination class. I was doing advanced work, you know what I'm saying? I was hitting honor roll, Elementary was a good period of time for school for me. And then, somewhere along the way it kind of,
okay.
changed up. I became not as interested anymore, but in elementary I was excited about school.
Okay. All right. You kind of froze up a little bit
San
though,
Jose.
fam. Okay, there you go. You back.
Huh?
You back. You back. You kind of froze up a little, but we heard you. So what
Okay.
about okay, so that was elementary. So what about junior high?
Junior high. Hold on, let me make sure that let me see if I can connect to this other
Okay.
Wi-Fi and see if that might that better? Any better?
A little bit.
Okay. Junior high. Man, junior high was crazy because it was a lot of moving. So it was you know, a different school damn near every year. So it was hard to hold on to friends. You know what I'm saying? And that I think is where you know, I started to become not as interested because I didn't have a group of people that I knew. I was meeting new people every year. So yeah, I think that was the decline of where I started to, not excel as much in school and junior high.
Okay. Where did you grow up at?
So I went to elementary school in San Jose.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. You from San Jose?
Yeah.
What? And where'd you go to junior high at?
I went to junior high. Okay. So I started junior high in San Jose. And then I went and that's the beginning of seventh grade. And then I went to Fremont for the rest of the junior seventh grade. And then I moved to Union City for eighth grade.
I didn't know you from Sound from Seaside. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
All you
And
got to do is ask. I'm gonna let you know.
now what? No, okay, so did you play sports in elementary, junior high?
So I played sports in sixth grade. Um, I went out for football. I made like the B team. In practice, uh, I was a quarterback. In practice, guy was guarding me, fell back on my wrist, my left wrist, and I was out for the rest of the season. So
Oh,
no games were even played. I didn't get to go show up to no games, and I kind of gave up on football at that point. Then the same year, no, okay, yes, tragic. This is some tragic shit. You digging up some right now. So then I went out for softball, and softball in practice, I'm pitching the ball to this kid, and he hits the ball, and the softball smacked me in the eye
my
and
God.
knocked me down. I'm out for the season. No bait, no softball, right? Then basketball, I was on the B team, and then I had to have a surgery that had me out for the rest of the year. And that was my sports run. I thought about it in high school, but then I started hanging with the wrong crowd, so I wasn't gonna be able to pass the physical and some more shit. You know what I'm saying? So, but all of those injuries in sixth grade made me be like, maybe sports ain't for me.
Yeah, because that's exactly what I was just about to say to you. Maybe
Yeah,
the sport. All right, so let's go move ahead to high school.
high school. Oh man, I was lost. By that time, ninth grade, I got in with the group of people that like to cut school, and so we was going off and maybe staying, off maybe an extra period sometimes after lunch was over, and that's where like cutting school began. I didn't feel like I had the support that I needed, so I wasn't as interested in school, and so I started skipping school. And I skipped so much school that they came to me, I want to say maybe the end of sophomore year, beginning of junior year, and they was like, "You ain't here no way. You might as well just go ahead and take a semester off."
Dang.
And so then my parents had me go and take the proficiency exam and said,
Mhm.
"Hey, you don't want to go to school? Then you can go ahead and pass this. You could be done with school and you can go ahead and start working." And so I went and I passed the proficiency exam. And then I still was like, I don't think that I'm going to be able to do very much in life without at least a high school diploma. So even though y'all are pushing me this way and like, well, if you don't want to do it, then don't do it, rather than, some kind of belief there, like, hey, we believe in you. We think you could do it. I didn't get that. But for me, for
Mhm.
nobody else, but for me, I wanted that for myself. So I went and I did like a deficit credit program and I did everything that I had to do to graduate on time. So
Oh,
it was a
wow.
rough
Man,
ride in
man.
those years of school. Yeah.
That's like that's an amazing story though. You know what I
Success
mean?
story.
Wow, wow. So what did you do after high school? Did you go to college or?
No, no. So from high school, I was so over my household that I didn't want to stick around. It was just not the environment that I wanted to be in anymore. And so I moved to Texas. And I moved to Dallas, Texas to go and stay with my cousins and my auntie and uncle out there. And that's music started like junior year, and I had just barely gotten into it. When I moved to Texas, my cousin Alize was all the way in it. So I swear I got in my first studio. I was opening up for like Mystical and Juvenile and Lil Flip, you know what I'm saying? Early stages before I even knew what the hell I was doing. And I did a telemarketing job out there. Like I was, definitely just being glad to be free from my household and freshly grown. I was able to get in the clubs because my cousin knew the club owners and stuff like that. But I was definitely that's where I started my recording. That's where I started my performing. And then I got homesick, and so after a year in Texas, I moved back home. And then kind of moved around with my parents. They had moved to Davis. I stayed in Davis for a couple of years.
Oh, wow.
That's where I began at UC Davis as a chef, and started to grow my like I was on like the local access channel out there, and so that's where I really started just you know making music, doing shows, and just really enjoying being an artist. And so from there, maybe like 2004, I
Mhm.
moved to Sacramento with my parents, and then I moved out on my own, and
Wow.
life began.
Wow. Are you the only child?
No, no, I got a younger brother and a younger sister.
Okay, so
I'm
you're
the
the
oldest.
oldest.
Yeah.
Okay, the oldest. Okay. So, well, how old were you when you became like started doing a chef thing?
Oh man. Well, I started in early Sacramento. Uh Man, I see, and I feel like I'm not saying the year right because I was cooking for a while out there, but I started as like a dishwasher. And then I moved up to like a busser. And then like my first real chef job was probably in like, oh, no, I was cooking at UC Davis. So that's like I was probably like 22, 23.
Okay. Okay.
Young
Wow.
Henny.
Wow.
And
Damn.
then I did different things in the kitchen, and then I worked my way into different restaurant situations, and then kind of just climbed up the ladder and ended up on the main line.
Now, what was your very, very first job though? Where
The
was it?
YMCA.
The YMCA?
The YMCA.
What
And
did you do?
I was a volunteer. And so they had like youth night. And I would be the one who collected the money. And they'd come in and they'd give me the money. And sometimes I get to go out and interact, or collect things for them. I wouldn't get no money for it, you know what I'm saying? But it was a volunteer thing. But
Mm.
my first paid job was Cinnabon.
Oh, really? Wait a
Oh man,
minute.
I
This the
huh?
one in the mall?
In the Solano Mall.
Oh, Solana
Yeah,
Mall.
because I went to Fairfield High. I stayed in Sassoon, Fairfield for all 4 years of high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I
Wow.
was I was the plug though. I was the Cinnabon plug. The homies used to come. We used to have all kind of stuff that we put in the freezer and didn't know when we was gonna get rid of it. So I was hooking the homies up with big ass boxes of Cinnabon.
Man, man. I
It
see
was
that that was
time to know me because I had
the
it.
Oh my goodness. So, how old were you when you discovered like music, when you got into, rap and stuff like that?
So it was the summer after my junior year of high school, and my cousin Alize, he had already been doing it for a while, and he just kind of, this is what I'm doing. And I took an interest in it, and he kind of showed me the fundamentals, and I took that and I went and I started making music with my homies, and we had a handheld tape recorder, and we would go to the warehouse and we would get in the singles and we would put the single on and let the instrumental version play and we would rap all the way through and we would
Wow.
make songs. I had a cassette tape and I was pushing that.
Cassette tape. They still,
Hmm.
oh, wait a minute. So man, that was years ago because you talking
I,
about cassette tapes.
I ain't no young spring chicken. I
I
might,
got you.
we age gracefully, you know what I mean? But
Oh,
I've
right,
been around
right.
for quite some time.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so did you start off like solo or did you say group?
It was a group. I started doing some stuff, but yeah, the group was really the beginning of it, and we made some songs together.
Mhm.
And then I moved to Texas, and I did some stuff with my cousin on his first album, and then I broke off and went solo from that.
The name Alizé sounds so familiar.
He goes by Alizé Ali now, just like Henny Holyfield, because Alizé obviously is the alcohol. And you probably didn't heard the name Alizé all over the place because it's not it's a popular drink, you know what I mean? But
But he's from Sacramento. I mean, he's from where?
he's from Cali, he's from San Jose, but he's been living in Dallas for most of my life. So you wouldn't know him from out here.
Did he shoot any videos or anything like that? And
He's in mine. I don't know about
yeah, I mean, of his
shooting.
own, of his own.
Yeah, but all in Dallas though, not out here.
But
No, or not in Sac. I'm saying out here, like I'm in
but
Sacramento.
no, like it. I'm thinking. I wonder if I ever got his video and played it on the show or something. Because back then they would put on VHS tapes and send them out to all the video shows. All
I
the
don't think so.
mm,
I don't think
okay.
so.
Maybe it is. I'm thinking about the liquor.
It could be. I mean,
Probably.
that's what it's associated with.
Yeah. Oh my. Okay. So, all right. So what happened after, the group thing, when did you transfer into radio?
Oh man, that's later on in the story.
Okay.
Um, I got to Sacramento, like I said, 03, 04. I can't remember the exact year.
Hmm.
But I didn't get into radio until 2015. And so
Okay.
it took years of collaborating with artists in the city, doing shows to, throwing my own shows, and just networking. I was like, I'm new to the city and don't nobody know me. And it's huge. And there's all kind of artists out here. Let me do as much as I can to try to, work my way into the community. And oh man, the blue lamp days, I was it was Mr. Blue Lap. I stand on that because I was there all the time. I had a great relationship with the owners. I was throwing shows. And so me and Dirk Dig, as we connected, we started doing our own run, the Cali Boys shows. And that led into radio because Mickey Tilts and Eddie Z had started the 360 radio. And I believe it started in SAC and then they moved it out to San Francisco at San Francisco City College. And so me and Dirk were invited to come do a joint interview, promote our music out in San Francisco, and we came and did it. And we had a great time. Shortly after Mickey Tilts approached me, he was like, "Hey man, we're about to bring it back to the city. We're gonna revamp this. We want to have a whole bunch of different personalities come on and have their own shows, and we think that you and Dirk would be a good fit."
Mm,
And I was like, "All right, I ain't no host, I don't like being up trying to talk. I can't entertain you by talking to you. Now I've gotten good at it because I've been doing it for 10 years. But then I was like, I know how to rap and I can rap and I'm gonna entertain you that way. But to be like the host of a show, it was not my thing. And so I really was like, oh no, man. But I saw the value in it. I saw that I could be able to be a foundation, a platform for artists that, I wish somebody would have provided that opportunity to me. So it was like, here, they're putting you in this position to be able to do, you know, make this happen for other artists. Man, let's give it a try at least. You know what I'm saying? And tried it out and I enjoyed it.
wow. So since there was a big gap, like you said, so what did you do in between before, I know you said the blue lamp and stuff like that. Where was your first performance? Your very, very first performance once you got serious about music, and how did you feel when you hit the stage?
So the first performances were like in Texas, right? And so those were terrifying. Um, I didn't have no experience in the field, and we're opening up for these names. There's all kind of people in the club. There's a situation where I can't remember who it was. I think it was either Juvenile or Lil Flip, but they were supposed to open up and they were late. And so it was like, hey, y'all want to get on real quick and hold it down, pretty much stall time for us, and we did. And they were so adamant about seeing whoever this was to come perform that they booed us. So we
Oh,
get booed right off the bat, and they're just like, we don't want to see you, you know what I'm saying? And I looked at my cousin, and he was just like, man, keep going. Let's go. We're here. We on stage. What we gonna do? Walk off? Nope. Let's go. We turned that boos, all those boos into a standing ovation. And at
yeah.
that point in time, I knew I could do this. Something clicked in my head. It was like I could do this if you could, because can't everybody can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Once the boos get going, if you suck, it's over for you. You
Oh,
know. But then transition to Davis. I started doing shows out there. I was in a group out there for the most part. But a lot of my like early solo performance days, I did in karaoke bars. That was when karaoke bars had CD players, and I brought my blank disc in there, or my disc with my show version, still not rapping over my words, still show version of my song, and I brought it to the KJ and was like, "Hey, can I do one of these songs?" You know what I'm saying? And I swear to be, somewhat appropriate for this crowd. I understand I don't want to hear all the ignorant stuff in here. So I'm gonna do something that's, somewhat appealing. And I started rocking karaoke joints. And that's how I built my confidence. And from that to open mics to I think the River's Edge might have been the first place that I really rocked in Sacramento. And then from there it just went, pinkies and silk one and silk two and eventually into the blue lamp. And the blue lamp was a whole era in itself, and that's made me, it elevated who I was in the community. It gave me the connections to be able to network and throw shows with these different artists, you know what I mean? And that's it, took off from there.
wow, wow, wow. Now when you was throwing shows at the Blue Lamp, you had your own promotional company or
I did not. No, I was
okay,
just throwing them. I
throwing
just,
them.
I
Wow.
just knew a whole lot of artists, and I knew, and I had did the whole pay to play system long enough that I knew how I didn't want business done. So I did it my way. I give it to where the artists make a couple dollars, and I make a couple dollars, and people in the building, and try to get people to stay to the end. Wasn't no fights at my show. I you know, worked with a group of people who understood that, hey, if we want this to keep going, that we got to, act civilized. And I had a whole lot of successful shows, and I had some not so successful shows.
What was the most successful one?
Damn. That I threw?
Yeah, like you like, man, this is like the best,
It was Brother Lynch. I threw a
Really?
show. I threw a show for Brother Lynch, and Player K. Something about he couldn't be there. He couldn't do it. He was like, "Here, I'm gonna give this to you. You put it together. You organize it. You make it work." And I I packed the Blue Lamp, and I had some dope artists on the bill, and Lynch had a crowd, huge crowd. I was super proud of myself.
Wow, wow.
Yeah. And then
Man,
I also threw a show for Stefan Clark shortly after he had passed, and Stevante had reached out to me and wanted to put it together, and me and another person we collaborated, and we oh man, it was booming in there.
wow.
It was a big show. So yeah, those are some of my most successful, memorable shows.
Shout out to Stefante Clark.
Big shout out.
And Lynch. Shout out to
Yeah.
Lynch, you
Oh
know.
yeah, yeah, it was lit.
Yeah. I used to love, Lynch was on my show, a few times and stuff, And at first, the first time I met him, I was like, I didn't know what to think. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you see the videos, you see him on the talk show, with all this stuff. But Lynch is one of the coolest people.
Ah,
So yeah, he very, very down to earth and stuff, and everything. So shout out to Lynch, Tall Can, and all the whole, Lynch family.
big
So
shout out to them.
yeah, so wow. So I know I missed the Blue Lamp too,
Man,
Blue Lamp,
hurts.
we lost a few places that were just rocking,
Yeah.
and Blue Lamp was really one of them.
Oh man, it hurts my heart just to think about it.
I was passing by there a couple weeks ago, and I was like, man, I was thinking about when Charity threw her show there with Jay Diggs and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that was the last time I
Come
was
on.
there.
Sadiq came through there just randomly one night, just hanging out in the crowd. Rapper Forte just came in there and just was hanging out. You know what I'm saying? I've opened for Beta Weeda
Yeah,
to Selly Cell to Drew Down to man Mayday. Like so many dope shows were thrown there. You know what I'm saying? You could
yeah,
just it just was a certain, you couldn't bring like an E40 or nothing there, but the people that, were able to rock with that size venue, they were there. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of dope, really, really dope shows that went on there. I miss the Blue Lamp so much.
wow.
I
So
wish I wish we could come together as a community and buy that place or rent it or whatever the hell and
I've been
utilize.
saying, like, especially Howe Avenue got all those empty buildings and stuff. You know what I mean? I was like, man, why are people leasing and getting those buildings? But now it's a
It
whole
takes a team.
it's a
It
whole
takes
different thing now. Because like you said, you didn't have no issues, but now it's a whole different mindset of people. It's
yeah.
like they ruin stuff all the time. But
Yeah, but you just gotta know who you dealing with.
yeah,
Don't reach out to these young folks that don't give a damn about nothing that are going to come in there tripping. You gotta deal with people who you have a relationship with and you know that they ain't gonna come in there and mess it up for you or nobody else.
right, right. What advice would you give someone like you? I'm listening to you. You came from a whole different town to Sacramento, and you became successful at networking, promoting, and stuff like that. What advice would you give, like, somebody that's just new to Sacramento? They want to get into, like, meeting people and, in the music industry and stuff like that.
Go outside. I was outside all the time. I was, standing in the front row clapping until my hands hurt. Like that's for real. Like not only was I just throwing shows, I wasn't at the Blue Lamp or these other places just because I was performing. I would make it a point to come in on other nights where other things were going on. What's going on tonight? You know what I'm saying? I damn near was it was the period of time where I was there. Like anytime that something kind of hip hop was going on, even like the burlesque shows that happened there or other events that they threw. Like I was really just adamant about people getting to know who I was. I feel like in order for you to make some noise, they say, even if I had big dreams to be able to go out and do music all over the country, but you have to start at home. And so since that was my home, I made it a point. I was like, well, this is what it is. And I see that the culture is thriving out here. Let me meet as many people as I can and show them I'm here and I'm ready to work and I'm easy to work with and I'm hungry, you know. So stay hungry, and go outside and be yourself. Don't be trying to imitate nobody, and don't allow your head to get inflated before something happened for you because man, that the ego is just it's going to close doors for you before they even open.
Mhm.
You gotta be humble.
Wow. Now, speaking of that, how did you get the name Henny Holyfield?
All right. So my name is Hennessy originally.
Wait a
And
minute. What do you mean Hennessy?
originally, come on now, Lita. How long you have
Hold
known me?
on. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so okay, that was well, you went by Hennessy first, right?
Yeah.
I was like, I know your parents' name. You know Hennessy. Okay,
No,
go
no, no, no.
ahead.
That
Okay.
no, I would. Me and my mom would have to talk about that. No, Hennessy was given to me by Alizé because he was Alizé, and it was just like, how can we coincide and bring this together? I'm Alizé. It's also derives from Tupac. And the line is crazy. It says, "Last night was like a fantasy. Alizé and Hennessy, a hoochie, and a hum." I feel like I was named from that song, but Alizé, Pac referenced Alizé and Hennessy a lot, and he just felt like it was cool. Plus, he drinks the fruitier stuff. I drink the darker stuff. You know what I'm saying? The stronger stuff. He light skinned, I'm dark skinned. It was a whole bunch of elements that went into it, but it just fit. And so Hennessy was what it was. Over the years, as I had kids, as I'm growing older and my content is changing, and I'm just thinking about the way that I'm represented, and it's just like this bottle, right? I lived up to my name. Everybody that know me, that's what I had. That's how I was, and I wasn't sloppy and nothing like that, but I had some Henny with me, or I was sipping on some Henny, and it was Henny around me. It was the name matched. But I had like promoters that would be like, "Hey, we got this all ages show for you. We not putting Hennessy on the bill. How
Mm.
can we flip that?" So it was like him, hen, and even hen still sounds like Hennessy, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, all right, well, I'm gonna take that into consideration. And so pandemic happened, and I had been sleeping on myself musically. I had gotten so involved in the radio stuff that I was putting way more attention into that than I was into my music. And so I was still dropping, but I hadn't dropped a solo in quite some time. And I just felt like I was doing, and then, oh yeah, and then people were like, "Oh, you that radio guy?" I, yeah, I'm him. But damn though, you ain't never heard my music? Nah, man, we didn't even know you make music. Oh, that's a problem. Let me reestablish myself. And now that I've been given this time off of work to go and just be, and I was like, well, this is a better time than any to put some music out. And so I had all this music that I've been sitting on for like 5 years, and I was like, well, I'm gonna put it out. I was like, but I go on my Spotify and I see my Hennessy name, and under my top five are EDM songs by artists named Hennessy. None of my top five belong to me. And so I was like, all right, that's out. I'm not even, I put music out, it's gonna get clouded by all this other stuff that's on here. I don't even know these people. And so also my cousin was like, we're gonna do a joint album. And he had just transitioned his name to Alizé Ali because of copyright purposes, and he didn't want to be included in this whole world full of Alizés there are out here. So he's like, all right, well, we do the project together. You're gonna have to come up with a name that kind of goes with mine. So Alizé Ali, Henny, gave it some thought, play with a couple different ideas. Holyfield stuck. So Ali and Holyfield. That's the name of the project that we're still in the process of putting together. And so I took that, and once I decided I was going to release this project, clocked in after I hadn't put out nothing in quite some time, I was like, I think it's just time for a rebrand. Let me go ahead and switch over to this new name. It's still me, but it's matured version of me. It's something that is easier to be accepted by a group of people who don't necessarily like hip hop. And that's something that I pride myself on, is that some of my music appeals to people. These karaoke bars I'm rocking in, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing stuff, and these people are like, well, I don't even listen to rap like that, but I like that. And so that's the power that I have at that point. So it's like, well, I need to be appealing. And you hear Hennessy, it's stereotypical as hell, you know what I'm saying? You think, you know, a drunk, you know what I'm saying? But, there's way more elements to me than that. But I just felt like it was a good time to go ahead and transition into this rebrand. And it's the best thing I've ever done, music wise. Hennessy, I got some love. I had some runs. I did some things as Hennessy. Henny Holyfield? Oh man, I've toured the country. I've done all kind of things with this rebrand since the rebrand happened. So many more opportunities have showed up for me since then. And I'm thankful.
You know what I think about though with you with that hearing all this, like especially Holyfield, because Holyfield was, the fighter and stuff.
Right.
I remember, when, we don't have to discuss it, but you had went through some, personal things, you know what I mean? And stuff. So you've been through some fights in your life,
Yeah.
your family, like, the family wise and stuff,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what I
Yep.
mean? So that Holyfield, that's what I'm seeing it, you find some fights, and
I,
everything.
I
Yeah.
like that. I never thought of it from that aspect. I think of it as like the people's champ. People like you, are you a boxer? No, I ain't no boxer. You know what I'm saying? If it come to my doorstep, then I'm gonna take care of it. But I'm not just going out looking for no confrontation. But that's kind of where it resonated with me, the Holyfield. But I like that a lot though, and
Yeah.
that's real because I'm not fool.
'Cause I remember you posting, stuff that you and your wife, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I
No,
remember that.
it's been a ride.
Yeah, so you are a champ,
Yeah,
through, just overcoming,
yeah.
all kind of
Absolutely,
stuff.
absolutely.
So
I agree,
that
100%.
I had to say that,
I appreciate that. I'm now I can include that in my explanation too, because it makes plenty sense.
Yeah, like, like me, we both, are believers and stuff,
Absolutely.
sometimes God just brings stuff to us in different ways. You know what I mean?
And we
So
got
we
to
just have
fall
to
on our
tell you that.
head and learn a hard lesson and work it out and do better.
Yeah, I asked God to use me this more, during my prayer, use me. I guess he just used me to, let
Absolutely.
me
That's right.
realize that.
Yes, indeed. No, thank you for that.
Yeah. So how did you meet my sis, MCE?
All right.
We
So
gotta talk about her.
the beginning of 360 radio, at least my era of it, when the different hosts were brought on, it was me. There was Desities, Rico the Great, and Knew the Truth had a show. Uh,
Yeah.
DJ Nocturnal had a show. GT Digital had a show. Lady Mix and Bam Bam. NorCal Chica. There were like seven, maybe even eight shows at one point in time where 360 was just the hub, and we just had different shows and different. It was booming.
Mhm.
Slowly but surely, people just started to pull out, and there was just you know not a whole lot going on. And the Cali Boys radio show was my original show. Me and Dirk, we weren't able to agree on certain things, so he decided he didn't want to be a part of the show anymore, and that's where I went into Top Shelf Radio. When that happened, I was the only show left on the network. Everybody else had left. It was just me. Here comes Mickey, from wherever she had just been doing her stuff at, and comes and joins, and it was a breath of fresh air. It was like, oh, because going from that many different shows on the platform to just me, it was a whole lot of pressure on me to keep this thing going. And then she came and her connections, her first show was Stressmatic. And it was just like after that, it was just like this person and this person. I was just like, well, damn, come on there. We need some of that energy over here. And then we met and we're on each other's shows and intertwining and we clicked.
Mhm.
I've never had not even close to an argument with Katie. Like we just clicked. Like it was great energy when we met, and it was just like, hey, she respected the fact that I was here doing this, holding it down. I respected all the experience that she had from Giants and Elephants and all the different accolades that she had all the way up until that point. And it was just like, well, I guess we teammates now. Well, how can we help each other? You know what I'm saying? And she supports me more than people I've known my whole life, and I support her the same way. Any room she's in and she's able to bring me up, she brings me up in a positive light. She'll throw my music into the mix, like, and I'm any opportunity I have for her to come along and be in it. She's in a lot of my music videos. Like that's my sister right there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know another female that I'm not blood related to
Right.
that rocks with me like he does. Nothing but big, big, high positive words to say about her. Like she's awesome.
Lovey K.
She's awesome.
She is. when she takes a hold of you, she really takes a hold of you, and
Yeah.
she's ride or die, you know.
Yeah, we talk all the time about gripes and stuff, and she'll vent to me and I'll vent to her, and we, help each other get through it. But yeah, I got a tremendous amount of love for that lady right there, man. She's one of the best things that ever happened to the station, her coming along. I'm thankful.
How many years has it been now?
I want to say 7,
Man.
because Cali Boy started in 2015. I want
Mm-hmm.
to say it stopped maybe in 2017 or 18,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where she came along.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we had our run there in Old Sac, and then we moved to like off Arden, Del Paso, and had the big old warehouse over there. And then we've been in the building we're at now for at least 5 years.
Oh,
And
wow. 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 And I'm gonna bring up, like I said on your show, what I mean, a lot of people they just don't realize, I was different, you know. Um, if I would have probably, how do I say this? I did everything for free. You know what I mean? I paid for the TV time and everything, I had access to the cameras, I never charged anyone.
right.
I did not have a building like you guys did.
Mm,
You know what I mean? So people really don't realize, and it was actually really just me and a host. But people don't realize you got people running the booth, the cameras, and doing this
yeah,
and that. You're paying lease, you know, and
yeah,
they don't want to, pay for, stuff. And I just don't think that's really right. It's a whole different ball game. You guys got, staff and
yeah.
bills and stuff.
I,
So
I I see it from both angles. Because in a perfect world, we would be sponsored. We would have people that would be paying those bills for us, and we would be able to provide the platform for free. But to be able to have to pay all those different bills and still do life, then it's hard to do all that. And so none of us like charging people, and even the legends and the people who we really have a genuine interest in learning more about, we don't charge them, what I'm saying? But other artists, we got to pay the bill somehow, and really we don't crank it up too high, and we promote you on our platform, and our platform has grown, quite big over the years, and we do our best to elevate you and make you feel, like you have a home base to promote your music anytime you want to, and we try to do the best job we can on interviews. So yeah, it's hard, like I said, maybe hopefully, Lord willing, one day we'll be in a position to where we don't have to charge. But in the meantime, while we're being charged for it, then we got to get a fee. Plus now I travel. You know what I'm saying? I fly to Sacramento every month to come film. So flight, rental car, food, place to stay. These are costs that I deal with now, but I do it because I want to keep it going. I didn't start this to finish it. I still feel like there's plenty more that needs to be showcased. I don't know everybody in the city yet. I know a lot of people, but I still, I interviewed Marcus the other day, and he's, really dope, and he's been doing it for quite some time, but I ain't never heard of bruh. You know what I'm saying? So that lets me know that there's still people in the city that I need to shine a light on that I haven't been introduced to. And
right.
but I love it, and I'm gonna keep doing it because I love to.
Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about why did you move out of SAC?
Okay. So my grandfather had a stroke
Mm,
about uh I want to say about 15 years ago now. And so he was paralyzed on one side, and my grandmother was left to try to care for him on her own.
mm,
And so he also was having the beginning stages of dementia. And so she had a lot to deal with, and didn't my grandmother doesn't really trust folks like that. And she doesn't just want to deal with anybody, and very protective of her people. So, she would try some folks out and they would work out for a bit and then they wouldn't work out. And so, as I seen it getting harder on her, she would reach out and she'd tell me what she was going through. And, that last year before I actually moved here, I would pack up my family in the car and I would drive to Vegas and I would come help her out and alleviate some of her issues for her. And I'd drive back home. And so after that going on for quite some time, and then, my grandfather just seeming like he was getting worse in his condition, um, you know, we had a conversation and she was just like, you're driving out here, she's like, I could really use some help. How would you feel about moving here? It's like, I've been in Sacramento 20 years. Like my whole life is there. Like, I don't know that I want to do that, but you need help. And I was the only family member that she wanted to really come step in and be around like that. I had already been doing it. So she was like, you're already, you've been helping me all this point. If you could be here and do that on a more regular basis, that would be extremely helpful. And so I took her up on the offer and I moved. And so unfortunately, I moved here in 2022. And when I got here, my grandfather was in the hospital and he was going through like he was just in bad shape. And so we were, trying to do everything we could to make sure that he was going to be better, but it didn't work out that way. And he ended up passing in December of that year. And so after he passed, although I knew the main reason that I moved out here was to help my grandmother in trying to take care of him. Now that he was gone, my grandparents were married for 66 years. You know what I'm saying? So imagine a person being connected to a person that long and then they're gone. That's your whole world. And so, my grandmother was like, I just want to go out into the middle of the woods and just go lie down. And I was like, man, no, we we can't do that. I'm here. I got my babies here. Let me give you a reason to feel like you still got a purpose here. And so that's what I did. I just, lifted her up as often as I can. We got gym membership that we go to. We in the gym regularly. We go to the casino and gamble here and there. We go to shows and different things and go eat. And it's just making sure that she knows that she still has somebody close by. I live 5 minutes. I could walk to my grandmother's house if I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? That's how close I am. Like it's, close enough to where you need anything. I ain't got to drive all the way from North Sacramento. I'm right up the street and I'll come and nobody better not mess with you and nothing. If any, you need anything, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I'm meant to be here. Although I walked away from all of that, I feel like I did pretty much all I could do in Sacramento, and I feel like I had a more important purpose, which was to be here for my grandmother.
Oh my gosh, you almost got me in tears. It's a lot. I didn't expect to hear all that.
That's what it is. Yeah, that's why I left.
So she don't want to live with you?
Not yet. No,
Okay.
my grandmother's 88 years old and very capable
Yeah.
of taking care of herself.
Yeah.
So I don't want.
I'm kind of like that. I think I'm gonna be the same way. Them still leave out. You, I'll come over and visit.
Right.
We do. Let me, but I want to live by myself.
We get to that point, I'm there. All she gotta do is say the word. But in the meantime, she enjoys her independence, and I want her to have that as long as she can have it. She can still walk around, she can still eat, she can still exercise, she can still get on stage and dance to go grandma while we performing. Like,
Uh,
yeah, she
man,
can still do everything she need to do. So we don't need to live together.
that's amazing. So, how do you balance, besides your grandmother, your family and stuff, and traveling, the radio, the music? How do you balance all that?
Learned how to juggle. It's not easy, but everything serves its purpose to me. Of course, my family is most important to me, and so I make that my main priority to make sure that I'm spending time with my children and my wife. You know what I'm saying? I'm not missing birthdays, I'm not missing holidays. I'm there for those important times. You know what I'm saying? I'm there if they need me for some guidance or whatever. I'm around. I'm a very present father. And I pride myself on that. And I would never want it to be any other way. So what you see me moving around is just in between those things. You know what I'm saying? I make sure my foundation is good. And then I'm able to go out onto the road and do all the things that I love to do. And then come back home and get back to, what I'm supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? So it's a balance. It's not easy and not everybody can do it. And people do too much of one and then it suffers another area. You've got the people who they have a family and then they just decide that, well, I guess this ain't as important anymore. I need to just go ahead and let this go, and I'm gonna put all my time into my family, which is a beautiful thing. But then you have regrets. You're like, well, damn, if I'd have kept going, maybe this would have happened by now. But and they still have that desire to do it, but something makes them feel like, hey, I can't do both, right? Then you've got the ones that want it so bad, and they go all the way out to the edge of the world, and they're gone all the time, and when they are there, they're not really present because they're thinking about going out, and they just neglect their family. And then what? The family breaks apart. Your kids are resenting you, things of that nature, and your household suffers. And that's not the way to go about it. Not in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their own thing. So I'm glad that I found a way to be able to do both, to be able to be here for my family when they need me, and to be able to go out and do the things that make me happy. And I explain that to my children as well. It's just like they're like, Daddy, why you gone? It's like, well, this is what I love, and this is my dream, and I want you to go out and do the same thing and pursue your dreams. So just understand. And I finally got myself into a position where I'm getting paid. It's been a long, treacherous ride trying to, paying to get on and paying for these different things. I'm finally, 25 years later, in a position to where people value what I bring to the table enough to pay me for it. I've worked my entire time. Now I'm here. Now I make I'm able to support my family from that. So it's a beautiful thing, and I don't want to let that go. And they understand. They know that it's important to me.
How old's your oldest?
My son will be 19 next month.
So okay, does he chef,
My son,
radio, music? Which one is he doing?
my son is he sells timeshares. Sells
He
timeshares in
does,
Vegas.
he has to seem like he has no interest in the music or anything, right?
I feel like it's important for us as parents not to shove our dreams down our children's throats. I've never ever once made my son feel like this is what I do. Come do this. Like, nah, man, this is what I do. You like it? Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? If you want to, dabble, I'm always here. Music, cook, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I got you. But you need to go out and find out what you want to do, and you do that, and you be you. Don't be me. I don't want you to be me. Be better than me. You know what I'm saying?
But
So
some
I
of
don't
them
want.
get the bug, like, like, man, because look at, like, there's so many, you see so many people, like, like, say 40, you
Yeah,
Droopy doing the beats,
right.
you got T.I.'s daughter singing it, Tiny, you know what I mean?
Well,
Some
my son
people
does. He does
naturally
some
get it.
photography. He does some
Huh?
photography.
Oh, photography. Okay.
Yeah. So he
Okay.
got into that bag for a while, and he was taking, pictures of like exotic cars and stuff like that. But that was like a stepping stone to get to where he's at. Now he want to do real estate and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? And he's excelling. And he graduated a year early from high school so that he was able to get out there and start his career path early. And he did fast food to photography and stuff, and finally landed this job. And my son just, man, we ain't gonna put the numbers out there, but my son is eating right now.
Good.
Eating. He wants to move to New York eventually, and sell penthouses out there to the billionaires. You know what I'm saying? Like his
Did he get his
wheels are turning.
license?
The real estate license?
Yeah.
He hasn't yet, but he's got some kind of commercial license to be able
Oh,
to sell, to do the timeshares. And
oh,
he,
yeah, to do the time. If
yeah,
he wants to do real estate, have him call me.
I will.
I
I
mean,
will.
and I give,
I don't think we too far from that. Man,
yeah.
I'm so proud of where he's at, and the fact that he's coming to me now and he's just like, Dad, I'm thankful that you taught me, this type of stuff. I'm thankful that you didn't allow me to give up on myself and told me to keep pushing, and I'm here, and oh man, it fills my heart with joy.
Oh man. Now you have how many kids?
I got three. I
Three.
have I have a 18-year-old boy, and then I have my girls. I have a 9-year-old girl and I have a 5-year-old girl.
How's that going?
It's going good. It's going good. I love my girls.
Yeah.
My son was a whole different, era. And, we had our spats, and we're very alike. So, and it's a different relationship. My girls, gotta do girl dad
Us
thing.
girls, we go through our little changes, and
Yeah.
you know what I
No,
mean?
I
And
love I love being a dad. As many hats as I wear, that's my favorite.
man,
Most
I feel
important.
like we talked to, man, I learned so much about you and stuff. So what is Henny Holyfield doing nowadays? What projects you got coming up? What do we got to look for? You know,
I've got two projects that are complete, fully recorded. I'm just in the process of really trying to work out my distribution situation and make sure that it's distributed correctly. I've just had some
art.
issues along the way, and so I'm trying to make sure that I do it right. When I first started making music, I was just putting it out. Now there's a strategy to it, you know, and I definitely want it to be maximize the profit, the reach, everything of that nature. You know what I'm saying? But I've gotten into this touring bag, and I'm not ready to walk away from that. You know, last year I toured the country. I did a 35 city tour with Chris Calico and Dizzy Wright last year. Um, this year I've done two two different like four city runs. I did a couple other things. I bet, man, oh my goodness. I've just gotten into this zone where I've connected with people in different parts of the country, and they've invited me into this world of being able to do that regularly. And that's where I'm going. I don't think that I can sit still anymore. Now I'm trying to get up out of here as often as I can and come
Get
home
out of
and
the
still do
country?
things.
You get
Huh?
out of the country?
Hell yeah.
Yes. So wait,
Hell
wait a
yeah.
minute. So where did you go out of the country? What places have you performed at out of the country?
The only place I performed out of the country so far is Vancouver.
Okay, Vancouver.
So we did a West Coast tour. I forgot that's another tour that we did, and but we went up to Vancouver. But I shot a video in the Dominican Republic with Jay Synth,
Oh,
and so
oh, you took Jason out there. Oh,
Jay Synth took me out
oh,
there.
he took you.
Yeah, he was like, I told him I had a song and I want to do it somewhere on the island. He's like, well, I'm going to the Dominican Republic. I'm like, let's go. So I'm doing
Man,
that. I'm you know trying to perform as many places as I can. Trying to grow the radio show. Just trying to do as much as I can while I can. You know, I ain't as young as I used to be, so I feel like I need to give this just a push. You know what I'm saying? It's not time to slow up. It's time to, you know, like I said, I've gotten to this level, and I didn't get here just to get here. I got here so that I could continue this run and open doors. That's my goal, is just to continue to excel and open these doors so that when I am ready to sit down and go get me some land and you know retire and still have my hands in things but not have to be out and be outside and be active, I want to have been able to open doors for my peers and the people that come after me, and for them to be able to reach out and be like, hey, I need, you know what I mean, boom, I got it for you. You know what I'm saying? I got the show over here. You got to do a show up. I got a bag for you sitting there. I want to be able to keep it going and you know create something that's never ending.
yeah. Now, before we both come up missing, we gotta get a shout out to your co-host on the top shelf.
Oh man, my brother, man. Big shout out. Shout out Doe. Doe is amazing. Doe is my, you know, me and Dirk had a special thing. And without Dirk, you know, I might not have gotten started and definitely wouldn't have, you know, just felt as comfortable being on air as I am. But what Doe brings to the table is just the desire. He's always wanted to do radio or something like that. He does all of our editing for the videos. He does graphics. He does all of the different things that come in, the soundboard. Like, he's so involved, and it just lifts so much weight off my shoulder, because not a lot, but there have been certain co-hosts that have came in and were just like, all right, well, I'm gonna be here. I'm sitting on your show, you know what I'm saying, and not contribute anything. They'll contribute so much that I value him, and I feel like it was meant to be. And it took the time to get for us to finally connect. And now that we are, I don't need nobody else. That's we dynamic duo.
Yeah, he cool. Now, the only complaint I have is about not being able to say little or whatever, the L word and stuff. I was
But
like,
but you get it though.
I think I still owe $1.
But do you get it? You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody has their thing, right? And so I I definitely feel like it's just people have thanked us, like, hey, you're changing the way, I didn't realize I said that word so much. And even though it's like not always used in a way to downplay your stuff, it can be. And once you change your mentality from thinking little to
Yeah.
thinking big,
Uh-huh.
possibilities are endless. Why
Yeah.
not?
At least I used it in the right. I mean, that was really his name. That's what I was just like, that was really his
No, we don't do it for names. We do it for like if you said like a little walk or you know what I'm saying?
Uh,
We take it to the extreme, but we just having fun.
yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. What days and stuff, or where can they see Top Shelf Radio? Where,
Top
like,
Shelf Radio is on every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. on the 360 Radio on YouTube. Every Tuesday night except the first Tuesday of the month. The first Tuesday of the month we do a Top Shelf live music review on Instagram at 7 p.m. and we open up the email and where it's not just pinpointed on one person. Anybody that sends in music, we gonna play it that night, the first Tuesday of the month, and we're gonna be able to you know that's the way that I feel like we stay tapped in with what's going on in the community because we just play all kind of stuff, whatever. I really enjoy playing new stuff, people I ain't heard before. So that
hey,
is the schedule.
why Max 17 is
I
he?
see it. I've been had this Facebook Live up this whole time. He's the first person I see that chimed in.
Right, right, right. Love him. I just had him and Mr. G on. Like, they're the first one that's been on my show twice.
Okay,
They're the first ones and stuff.
I got a lot of
I
love
love
for them brothers, both of them.
Yes, I love them. Yeah. So, and where can they find your music?
Henny Holyfield, you see it this back here. And you see the 360 radio too. You see everything back there, you know what I'm saying? But Henny Holyfield on everything, all digital platforms, all social media, except TikTok. I think it's Mr. Henny Holyfield. Top Shelf Radio is on Instagram as well, top_shelf_radio. But yeah, Henny Holyfield, not Henry Holyfield, not Henny Holyfield, not any other variation of the name. It's just like that. You know what I'm saying? Exactly how it sounds everywhere.
And how can people get their music played on your show?
Official top shelf radio at gmail.com.
And what does it take? What is the criteria?
I hope it's good. MP3 format. Don't send me a Spotify link because I'm not gonna go through all that. You know what I'm saying? But try to make it as good as you can. Don't send me nothing that you ain't at least put a mix on, you know. I understand that sometimes people want to get a feel and they put stuff out there before it's really ready, but you got one chance to make a first impression. And if you said put that out there and it's not ready like that, and I got my people and we're pretty, we're not your average review show. And we do our best not to tear people down. We're gonna give you some constructive criticism, but some people will be like, and all this crazy, just like we ain't here to kill nobody dreams. We trying to elevate you. We trying to give you a platform to be able to be heard on and give you some feedback so where you can go back and be like, okay, well, that didn't work. Well, how about this? You know what I'm saying? But I ain't got no control over what my people in the chat say. You know what I'm saying? We build a nice community, and I like to think everybody is encouraging in there. But if you send something over that they're not feeling, they're gonna tell you they're not feeling it. You know what I'm saying? So just send me your best work. Something you're proud of, something that you would like to be heard, that you think could be heard on the radio, or even something that's personal to you. You know what I'm saying? We like non-radio hits over there too. We just like good music, and we want to feel something when we listen to the music.
You were good music. Now, a couple more questions. You said you like to see Top Shelf 360 Radio, expand. So what do you mean by expand? Are you guys looking for like more shows to come on? More, what does it take to be, or what vision do you see for 360 Radio Top Shelf? You know, because you said before there were so many other shows and they disappeared. So
I don't think expand to me looks like a whole bunch of different hosts coming on at this point. I think it's just the city getting behind me and Doe and Mickey more.
yes,
Like we've put in so much work. We've interviewed just about everybody. We promote people. We do a whole lot, and we still don't get the credit we feel we deserved. I ain't looking for no like, for somebody to come along and be like, "Oh, y'all are the best." But come on, man, we're a platform for the people. We're here for y'all. You know what I'm saying? And some people, a lot of people they don't share, they don't tune in, they don't do anything like that unless it's them. You know what I'm saying? All of the hundreds of, it's probably thousands of people that we've interviewed at this point. And where's that support at? Why do we only have a certain amount of subscribers on YouTube? Why are there only so many people tuned in when we go live, when we're playing the people's music? Like, I just feel like there's a lack of support. And so I feel like between that and then some sponsors getting behind us that, really want to be able to put some money into it so we can go do some bigger things and make some more things happen for the people that we support. I think that's what expanding looks like in my eyes.
Okay. Now, the other questions I have is regarding your music. What made have you done any like major collabs with any artists? And is there any artists that you have not worked with that you would love to work with? I mean,
Abs-
local, major.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think well, one of my most proud is Fab, and I really like Fab as a human being.
Shout out
And
to the Fab.
yeah, he's a dope human being. And he, one of my biggest records was done with him. You know what I'm saying? My win record, and that definitely elevated it. I feel like it kind of, put me like when I ask people what's their favorite song by me, they'll say When. And that record was huge for me. I got plaques for that record. You know what I'm saying? I got two plaques for that record. So that record is huge. That's one of the most um memorable collaborations that I've done. But I also did the TQ collaboration. Um and
Oh,
that
really? Okay.
Yeah, that was a great experience, and he's a really dope individual as well.
Isn't
I
he?
like I like I
I
like
interviewed, yeah, I
people.
interviewed Pete. Yeah, he was on my show too. Yeah, he's a cool cat.
I
Yeah.
like people that aren't Hollywood, even though they Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? Like I know Fab got all kind of Chris Browns and stuff that he's written records for, like, and they're still down to earth, genuine, humble, caring people. Like, don't give me that other side. I don't want to see that because I don't care how dope you are. I don't care how many accomplishments you have. I don't want nothing to do with you. I don't like people like that. So those two people are great. Crook is another one. King Crooked, Crooked Eye, however you refer to him.
Oh
I
yeah.
have an unreleased
Uh-huh.
collaboration with him. And he was very down to earth and dope. Devin the Dude is another one that's unreleased.
Interviewed him also. Love
Oh man, I went to a house party with Devin, and
really?
we hung out, and I was like, Devin, we friends now. With a hey, we not. I support you still, but you know me now. You know what I'm saying? It's my dog. Um, and so those are some that I've done. I
I do
definitely,
want to say, like, you was talking about people being humble. I was there in the beginning, Fab used to come down here. I remember I was telling him when you and Turk Talk was skinny, I was there.
yeah.
But
Now
you
they
could
got they
pull
got
up, what was it last year? My son, Fab treats my son like a nephew and stuff. I pulled up to the shop and stuff, and I was like, "This is my first time here." He was like, "Sis, this ain't your first time here." I said, "It's my first time in your shop."
mm,
He couldn't believe it. But even 40, 40, all of them are so humble.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And there was one, I'm not gonna mention the name, he was kind of in a church. My friend was doing first time I ever was around gospel rap was
yeah,
that she threw the event and a very famous artist was there. He was like, I might be able to do an interview, walked away. And I'm looking like, oh, okay. So I interviewed other gospel artists and I want to leave it. And she goes, hey, such and such was looking for you. I was like, sure, look, I got my other interviews I left.
right. Because that's all you got to do is show me who you are one time, and I'm uninterested. I don't care.
It's
You
yeah,
feel like you know that you can act like that and people are still gonna be interested. Nah, man, I'm cool. I
yeah.
got I got some stories. We ain't gonna put nobody on blast, but
No, yeah,
I've got
yeah.
some people that I have met that now that I've met them, I don't support them at all anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't turn that on. You bring it up and be like, you know what I mean? But
Yeah. And you become good friends with a lot of them. Like,
yeah,
stuff, you know, and
DQ, I'll be seeing out in public because he out here in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? He see me. What's up,
oh
Henny?
my God, I forgot about him.
Yeah. Yeah, show love. I stop in Oakland. Every time I stop in Oakland, I stop in Dope Air and I go spend some money with Fab. So I make sure that
Mhm.
I stay and I have a good relationship with Gary Archer. So he keeps me in that conversation as well.
Yeah,
You know what
Fab,
I'm saying?
my son has the clothing, had a clothing line too, so him and Fab would switch, you know, supporting
Fire.
each other's
Fire.
stuff.
That
All
was
right.
super
So
dope.
who would you love to work with? That you haven't?
So I got some so I used to answer this question differently, but I have thought about it and I've got some dope vocalists that I would like to collaborate with. And I feel like I can make it happen. I just got to keep working in that direction. But one of my favorite artists recently, her name is Alessia Cara,
Mm,
and she does the Scars Are Beautiful song. Ever
mm,
heard that song?
mm,
She's got like a sultry voice. Light-skinned girl. She's been doing it for a while. She makes like empowering music. Your scars are beautiful, you know what I'm
Here in
saying?
Sac?
And huh?
Here in Sac or?
No, no,
Oh, okay.
she's
Okay, okay. Scars. I'm gonna have to look that
yeah,
up. Okay.
she out there, you know what I'm saying? She's high up there, but she's really dope. And now I think that we would make magic together. Another vocalist is Skylar Gray. And Skylar Gray is she's done a lot of records with Eminem. So it's a
Mm,
white girl and she's just got this very distinct, dope verse. And I think that, as opposed to thinking of who I could make a rap song with, you know what I'm saying? Like I want to make, a
yeah.
song, you know what I'm saying, with somebody and I do my part and they come in and do their part and that's more where I'm thinking of. But I definitely still would like to work with some sack artists, you know what I'm saying? I think a T Nutty collaboration isn't far-fetched because we in the same vicinity. I still would like to put that together. Sibo, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm,
some of the sack greats, but Ludacris would be dope. Like somebody that I feel like would challenge me on lyrically, you know what I'm saying? I want somebody that I reach out and they do a collaboration with. I'm like, oh snap, I got to really put some serious effort into this because you're not gonna upstage me on my song. I'm gonna meet you where you at.
right. You know, okay, I know, like I was like the last few questions, but now I'm thinking, what, how do you write your song? Like, you know, do you go in a room, you know, what motivates you? Do you have a certain place you be like, okay, I'm in my mode, I'm, you know, writing mode, or, you know,
It's usually in the car. I get a lot of inspiration in the car, riding around, throw a beat on. I'll pull over,
okay.
write it down real quick, and then get back to it. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
write some at home, but when you're in dad mode and just taking care of the household, it's sometimes hard to transition out of that and really just get into artist mode. And so I really excel when I'm in a room full of creatives. Skylit, when I come back to SAC, I go there and I'm surrounded by creatives and a producer that is willing to work and do everything I need. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably my favorite place to be to create is at Skylit.
Okay. All right. Y'all here, man. I hope y'all got a lot of game and stuff. Yeah, I learned a lot. You know what? I can't remember when we first met. We've been on each other for a few years and stuff. You know, it was probably at the Blue Lamp.
More than likely.
It
More
was,
than likely. I
yeah,
was there
probably
all
at
the
the,
time.
but you know, and I've watched you just grow. You know, not only professionally, but you know, even with the family and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like I don't say much because I'll be moving, you know, doing stuff and stuff, but I see, you know, and everything. And, you know, I'm really proud of you and I'm really blessed to, you know, know you and to have you on my show and
I
stuff.
appreciate it.
But
Thank you.
but I do want to say something, you know, I'm going to get smart and end it. Now, I was so glad you sent me that picture. I said, that picture was a perfect picture.
Oh, it's a
I was
look
like,
on your
I
face.
was like, I was like, oh, what time you want me there? Oh, be here at 8:45. I walk in, y'all, I walked in the radio station. There was another artist sitting there waiting. And he was in there interviewing, chopping Looney, you know. And I was like, oh, you're waiting to be interviewed too? and Henny comes out, he was like, oh, I'm running a little bit late, you know, it's gonna be, you know. And I was like, okay, it's a Sunday night. It's past my bedtime. So that picture, I was just like,
In my defense, the Looney interview just ran long, and then Chopper was in there too, and so we trying to get things worked out, and yeah, and we had to get set up. It just sometimes there be some technical difficulties. I just be hoping everybody's understanding. It don't never be my intention to go over time, but sometimes when you're trying to let somebody talk, it's hard
but
to not go.
yeah, but that was funny though. So my interview, y'all, it went, I didn't get on to like 10. So, I wasn't, once you there, I wasn't gonna go back home. I was like, well, hell, I'm here.
I'm glad you didn't. I'm glad you didn't because I
So,
we wanted to interview you. I'm thankful you stuck around and understood.
right. And we need to give a shout out to who's the guy that does the editing, in the booth. What
DJ Eddie Z.
Eddie Z, yes.
Hmm.
We got to give him, shout out too and stuff like that. So
Eddie Z is oh man, as I feel for Katie, like Eddie before Blue Lamp days, Eddie was the DJ. You know what I'm saying? Like he was, and then he went on to DJ for the Kings for a while, but he is the man behind the machine. If you wonder, we couldn't do this on our own. It took him believing in what we do, and him and Mickey really, but it's been him that's kept the lights on, and even when we weren't able to come through with all the different expenses that we needed to, we took care of it. Like Eddie is extremely fundamental in the success of the 360 radio. Without Eddie, there wouldn't be us. You know what I'm saying? It took him believing in us and keeping it going. So I've got utmost love and respect for Eddie Z. Big shout out, and Justin Z, because when Eddie has other things going on, his younger brother Justin comes in and holds down the fort as well.
and then there's another guy that takes pictures. What's his name? Katie shouts him out all the
Sack
time.
boy.
Sack Boy, yeah. Sorry,
Shout
Sack
out
Boy.
him too. He's been with us for quite some time.
Yeah.
Big shout out to him. Just a machine. We just big team, and teamwork makes the dreams work, and we work together, and we just we value each other.
All right. Anything else you want the folks to know?
Shout out to my family, my wife and kids. Shout out
Yes.
to grandma. Shout
Yes.
out to my whole 360 radio family. Shout out to my team, my Skylit family. You know what I'm saying? And Bub and Colt and KO and Scourge. Shout out to just man, all of the people that I've met along the way. There's so many people that I could name off, but I just want to say that if we have ever done anything, any business, any interaction, if you supported me, if I've supported you, whatever the case may be, I just want to give a shout out to everybody, anybody that might be tuned in. Mac, Spittles, I see y'all. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sacktown. Shout out to Sacktown for embracing me and giving me a home to be able to grow into what I've become. You know what I'm saying? And then Vegas for embracing me as well. I'm just appreciative.
And I just want to thank you because, you kept your word with me. It took a while, but you kept your word to, to
For
get
for the interview?
on the show to interview me and
Yeah.
stuff, you know.
Listen,
Guys, if y'all doing any podcasts or anything, man, y'all gotta, it's all about, like you said, supporting each other. You know what I mean?
right, right.
It's just
And
period. You
yeah, and I got a whole lot of stuff going on. So sometimes I tell somebody, "Hey, we gonna do an interview," and then it's gone right after I get done talking to you. If I don't put it down, if I don't confirm, I'm sorry. And things have happened like that over the years. I try, but I got a whole lot going on. So if you really want to connect with me, stay on me about it. Reach out. I'm not gonna think you bugging. We're gonna make it happen. And I would like to connect with y'all as well. Any podcasts, any shows, any networks, anything that I can be a part of. Let's connect. Let's
Mhm.
co-promote each other. You know what I'm saying? Help build each other up. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to win and to have as many people come win with me as possible. We can all win together, and we can use our platforms to support each other.
Yeah, SAC needs to, network with each other, connect with each other,
Absolutely.
stop talking about each other,
All right.
come together and stuff. So there's enough viewers and food out there for everybody, right?
Absolutely. We can
All
all eat.
right, so is there gonna be real quick, is there gonna be a chef show?
A chef show?
Like you cooking?
Yeah, so yeah, we got some stuff in the works that's supposed to be happening. We're just trying to get all the pieces together. But yes,
All right.
yes, there is. And I'm planning to be not only, orchestrating and how the flow of the show goes, but I plan to hop on there and get in the kitchen and do some stuff too. I really need to do some Doe said I need to do some more content where I'm kind of walking through some of my favorite recipes and incorporate it in the top shelf. So you can look forward to some of that too.
I got somebody for you to interview too.
Who that is.
Mystical's road manager, and he's a
Okay.
chef.
Okay.
I just had Charles on the show and stuff. But he's a chef. But I met him when I the story was, the radio stations used to be out on the streets, to set up. Well,
Yeah.
103.5. No, yeah, I think it was 103.5 D-Lo.
Mm.
I pulled over, right? And I saw them just to go say hi and stuff. And he's like, Lita, they're from Universal. Can you interview them? And that happened. I called Access. I was able to get the camera stuff. Akon was there. I interviewed Akon when he first,
Fire.
right before. I was like, I think I got your video. And right after I interviewed him, the song with his Styles P blew up, right?
Fire.
But that's where I first met Charles. He had an artist there. I think his name was Ooh Wee. He was Snoop, like a protege, right? And
Okay.
that's where me and Charles became close. He reminded me, I forgot I interviewed Petey Pablo with him. Stuff. But we stay connected. He lives in Fairfield. Now he's from LA. He did a number. Yeah, I gotta send you the interview, but yeah. So I think y'all should, do it, especially y'all, chefs and work, you know, have a lot of the music. But
Let's
he's
do
a
it.
road manager and stuff like that. But yeah,
Okay.
mystical and everything.
I'm
So
with it. I'm with it.
yeah,
Let's do
I
it.
want to send you Charles's information. So
Please.
that'll
Let's
be
set it
cool,
up.
with you guys. So,
I
all
appreciate
right,
it.
I appreciate you. I love you. The family don't know me, but tell them I said hi.
I will. I will. Nothing but love, Alita. Thank you for having me on your platform. Thank you for taking me down memory lane and thinking about stuff I ain't thought about in quite some time. I that's not what I get in most interviews. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, well, that's better than what y'all did to me at the end, asking me them questions. I was like, what in the world? I said, what you
We be having fun. We made sure we showcased what you do, and then we're gonna take you into left field and we gonna go talk about some other stuff.
I didn't answer? So I got to come back on to be prepared and just be able to answer. I got to be ready next time. Like,
For the food questions?
yeah, oh yeah, the food. But you guys had asked me. It was one question. I was like, what? Oh, you wanted me to say something, and I was like, what? It's kind of.
What's that all about?
You was something you guys wanted me to say right before the commercial or during the commercial.
Oh, you gotta scream at the DJ for him to run your stuff like something.
Yeah.
Run it like Forrest Gump, or run it like something crazy.
I was like,
Oh, we having a good time. We all had a good time
yes,
together.
I love it. Anytime you want to come back on, I gotta get you and Doe on. That would be a good show.
I hope you're ready for some shenanigans.
I'm ready. Look, I already been through it. I hope they.
Yeah.
So,
We would love to.
all
Anytime
right,
you have us.
all right, let's make it happen. And, all right,
December
I love
12th.
you.
I
Appreciate
have
you.
an album dropping December 12th.
Oh,
Lots, Leaders of the True School. You heard it here first. I haven't even announced it online. December 12th.
who's the features? Who the
Uh, it's just me and this guy out here. His name is Art Science, and then we have a sister on there by the name of Shonda that's doing vocals on 2 tracks,
Mhm.
and yeah, 8 tracks is coming December 12th.
All right, let me know so I can promote it.
Will do.
All right. Peace
Thank
out. I'll
you.
see you later, okay?
Peace and love. All right. Good night.